And then, even when you're driving away home, always think, okay, this is great. I've done this great thing. And that way it brings up more happiness and joy. And then before you go to sleep, always bring up all the great karma you made during the day. Any acts of kindness, not just to monks and nuns, but any acts of kindness to anybody during the day. Bring that up. That way it kind of reinforces the mind. Always inclined towards, generosity. Always inclined towards, kindness. And then the best thing is also, when you meditate, I always try to do this all the time. First 5 minutes brings up any kind of delight and happiness of and kind of recollect any good karma you made the last couple of days or week. That way it helps, makes the mind more lighter and brighter. And it's an aid to your meditation, cultivation of the mind. Yes?
Did the Buddha, somewhere in another sutta, make a specific point of drawing attention to the fact that when you are generous and you give something to the monks or someone else, that you should not just do it and then move on to whatever else you're doing in your life, but that you, as you're saying, you should actually stop and take mental note of your action and the bodily and the emotional reaction you have to the fact that of your generosity. I seem to recall some suttas ago that someone here was giving us a sutta class where the Buddha gave a specific direction that this is different from, say, not the Buddha, talked about Christians, but the person who was giving the sutta class gave drew a distinction between the doing of good and the doing of good with mindlessness and the doing of good with mindfulness, where you do this intermediate thing where the real value in actually doing the good and being generous is actually the stopping afterwards, taking registration of the karmic effect of that on one's body and mind, and that to not do that can be largely miss out on the whole karmic effect of it. Do you recall a sutta where the Buddha is talking about this? Because one of the nuns and monks was talking about this. I think it was Ajahn Brahm, actually.
I think there's a few sutras where he does recommend, the correct ways of giving. Give it faith and give it out of generosity, and like I said, it's true. When karma is it's not intention, it's not in the mind. So the more we incline our mind towards this positive mind state, when we're mindful and we give things, then you can feel it have a greater consequence. Then it was just kind of perfunctorily give things because, we've been doing it for so long, and we just go to the monastery because it's our Thursday, it's our day. And you can see that it has effect on the mind. You see wealthy people cut a check. Maybe it's very wealthy, it's a very large amount, $1 million or something. But for them, it's just, writing a check. But whereas you see another person who's not so well up, but she puts a lot of effort in going, buying the thing that she could, cooking it, and really putting a lot of love and attention to what she's doing. Then, the karmic retribution of this lady would be much greater than donating $1 million or a couple $1 million to the monastery. In terms of, her own karma. You can see that. Yeah. But I don't remember, specifically, which quote, but he does. I know that he says that. Obviously, when you do give, give out of faith and be mindful, and also to reflect on the actions.
The reflecting is what I was
referring
to.
Right.
Yeah.
To reflect.
So would you consider that an essential component in this process?
It's a very large component. That's right. Yeah. To reflect any time. That's right. Rahula is more of a general thing, but before you do anything, in body, verbal, bodily, and thought, always reflect on before, during, and after. Yeah, that's true. And that's in line with what you're saying as well. Yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Any questions or comments? Okay, and then we go to about the 4 types of purifications of offering. Okay. There are 4 kinds of purification of offering. What 4? There is the offering that is purified by the giver not by the receiver. Okay, this is purified by the giver, not by the receiver. So, this is where the giver is a person with lots of faith. And the receiver, let's say, not, such a nice monk. He misbehaves. But still, his gift, because he gives out of faith and because he believes, has the right view in karma, the fruit will still ripen for him because he's purified his own gift. Even if it's to an immoral person he's given to. If he gives out of faith, he gives him the right view, believing that karma will ripen. The gift will still be purified by the giver. That's one way. The second one is that there's an offering that is purified by the receiver, not by the giver. And this is a case where you hear a lot of people said, you have a thug or criminal, someone who robs a bank, but yet he comes and makes, donations in the monastery. Should we take that? Maybe the money is stained, or drug dealers or whatever. The money is, is stained already by this kind of criminal activity. But even then, the Buddha said, if that person, even though his wealth is ill-gotten, but if the monk is virtuous, his gift is still purified by the fact that the monk is pure himself. And there's still good karma resulting from doing that. Right? Okay? So that's interesting. And then, the third one, there's an offering that is purified neither by the giver or by the receiver. In that case, you have a criminal who gives to the wrong monk. Then that won't go very far. Because you can see, when you give to the right monk, a pure monk, an enlightened monk, his karmic potential is much higher. He's teaching people the true Dhamma. He's spreading, the true Dhamma, and then so you have a share in that. Investing in, let's say, Ajahn Chah, Ajahn Mahabu or something. It's like, investing in, giving things in to, any kind of well-run company, like a Bill Gates, like a Microsoft. Because they're doing, huge work. So whatever you have a part of that, because you feed him or looked after him, then that great karma that he's making, you're having a part of that. So that's why, you can see why there's some inclination towards finding out, the attainment as a different monk or the monks who have, huge reputation, have a huge following. Because people they all want a piece of that good karma. Right?